summarize this part of the lesson, think about this, okay? The things that we just read are common approaches to children, okay? And children, yet the group is saying that children come out of it feeling withdrawn, guilty, indifferent, lonely, sad, disappointed. I'm just reading the ones that came up multiple times. Idiotic, hurt, anxious. All these things, hopeless, worthless, shamed, horrified, frightened, disgusted, negative, defiant. Okay? That's pretty powerful. So what I have for you is some things that we can do instead that hopefully won't, that might be more effective and not produce the same kind of reaction in the children. So these are suggestions from the author. She has a better way. Okay, we're going to go over these. The first one is to engage a child's cooperation. Number 1, describe what you see or describe the problem. Example they have here is there's a wet towel on the bed. And then in the book, they have little cartoons. Okay, so I'm going to read one for each. Okay, so for describe what you see or the problem, I picked how many times. This is instead of saying how many times do I have to tell you to turn off the bathroom light after you use it. Instead of that, you describe the problem to the child. The bathroom light's on. You're still getting the same message across. They can think for themselves what to do about that. Number 2, give information. The towel is getting my blanket wet. Okay? The one in the book is, instead of, who drank the milk and left the bottle standing out? Instead of that, you give information. Kids, milk turns sour when it's not refrigerated. Just give them the information. Then they can figure out what to do. Number 3, say it with a word. The towel. This is my favorite because I could easily get into the lecture mode. And I use this all the time ever since I learned it in ECFE way back. It'd be the same thing as if they left the lights on in the bathroom. You'd just be like, lights. That's all you need to say. One word. They tune you out anyway. And up to that point. So let's see. Oh, this is it. In this cartoon, instead of, she goes on and on this whole lecture about putting pajamas on. I've been asking and asking you kids to get in your pajamas. All you've been doing is clowning around. You agreed that before you watch TV you wouldn't be pajamas, and I don't see a sign of anyone doing anything about it. Whew. Instead of that, you can say, kids, pajamas. That's much nicer for everyone involved, I think. There will come a day.
But just out of curiosity, you said you took all this in ECFE, you learned it and everything. How did you learn to switch because we're all born in, I don't know, I guess, what's that word I'm looking for, but our nature is to just say, and instead we need to be, and I can't quite figure out, I've been trying hard to flip that switch, but I can't seem to flip.
Yes, thank you.
So I don't know what was your experience? Was it just like constant effort?
Trial and error, practice, practice, practice. And in fact, that brings me right back to, I'll get back to that when I do the closure, because that's a really good question.
Okay.
So the next thing we're going to do is bring this around, look at your do's and your don'ts that you wrote for your child or your children. Which one of these skills could apply to one of your do's or don'ts that you're always ragging on your kids for? Can anybody give an example of how they could use one of these 5?
I'd like it if you eat your food.
Good. Great example, thank you.
If you throw the ball, that will break the TV.
Oh, give them information.
Excellent.
Yep.
But he already broke it.
I'm a little late on that.
I have taken this class before.
That's great. Any other ones?
There's still toys on the floor.
Ah. Describe what you see. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was going to do.
So, I just want to ask you if this was useful to you, if you had any ahas. I see heads nodding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything that allows you to hear things that you say and just what it makes you think of.
And I can tell you already that I know the positive reactions or the, like this list yields better cooperation, but it's getting your instincts or your whatever to do this instead of this.
And I am with you on that because, we could write a book on that answer to that question.
Yeah.
How to change. I have all the books, I've taken all the classes, but when I lose my temper or I'm impatient, I'm in a hurry, all of this goes out the window and the stuff I was brought up with comes right to the forefront. So we could write a whole book on that. So I don't have any quick answers to tell you. But I do, in closing, it was suggested to say, there are two things to remember when using these ideas, okay? Be authentic. And then number two, if you don't get it through the first time, it says don't revert to the old ways. Try these this week to help gain cooperation with your child. So it's just, try and try again. None of us are going to get this perfect. We can only progress toward perfection. We'll never attain it. And that's all I have for you today, and I really thank you for having me and letting me do this.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.